Matchday 32 in La Liga. EA Sports kicked off with the game between Espanyol and Getafe at the RCD Stadium. Espanyol were coming into this one looking to extend their undefeated streak at home to 10 games and also pick up a third consecutive victory in La Liga. Getafe, the side with the best away record in 2025 in La Liga. EA Sports were looking to conquer the RCD Stadium. They had the first chance through a corner from Mauro Arramparri. It was a game of very few clear-cut chances in the first half. In fact, both sides would go into half-time with just one shot on target each. Few mistakes at the back, but the main talking point of the half really was the number of corners that Getafe managed to muster up. They had more than 5 in just the opening half an hour of proceedings. These are two of the 3 sides with the lowest average possession this season in La Liga EA Sports, so it's always going to be curious to see who was going to have more of the ball. It turned out to be Espanyol really from start to finish, with 60% really compared to Getafe's 40. Jofre Carreras here was coming into Espanyol starting 11, replacing the suspended top scorer and captain Javi Puado. He could only drag that shot wide of the goal. Antonio Roca kept his place in the starting 11, and he was picked out here in space, and he was brought down in the box by a challenge from Omar Alderete. But the referee, Ricardo de Burgos Bengoechea, made it very clear that the Paraguayan defender got the ball first, although he did quite clearly bring down Antonio Roca. But as he got the ball first, clean refereeing from de Burgos Bengoechea. Edu Exposito again kept his place in the team in the number 10 role, just behind the striker Roberto Fernandez. Here he let fly from long range, but David Soria seemed to have it pretty much under control. This was Getafe's only shot on target in the half, albeit a very awkward one from an awkward angle. Ramon Terrats, who has scored 4 of Getafe's last 6 goals on the road in La Liga, scoring back-to-back braces as well in Getafe's last 2 away games. Here he was looking to make it a 3rd consecutive away day with a goal, but it was a very difficult angle, and yet Joan Garcia was there to just get his fingertips to the ball and help it over the bar. Domingos Duarte came close next with this shot as it dropped kindly for him, but his effort was deflected wide for a corner by the Espanyol defence. It was, however, from a corner at the other end where Marash Kumbula would score and give Espanyol the lead on 38 minutes. This was Espanyol's first shot on target of the game, and it was well executed as well. Marash Kumbula having time to bring the ball down onto his left foot, and David Soria unable to lunge for the ball. I think he was expecting the ball to go across to his back post rather than into the top corner at his front post, and all he could do was watch the ball fly into the back of the net, and that was Espanyol taking the lead. Marash Kumbula with his 3rd La Liga goal of the season. Getafe kept on pushing, looking for an equaliser before the half. Here Ramon Terrats getting a bit too much on this cross, but there was also a claim for a penalty from Bertu Yildirim, who'd been pushed over in the box by Cabrera. Not enough in it for the referee. Yildirim was actually replaced at half-time by Alvaro Rodriguez, and he had the first shot on target of the second half for Getafe, although a very easy ball to keep out for Joan Garcia. This one, though, wasn't so easy. Getafe had started the second half much the better side, and it was Getafe's top scorer this season on 9 goals, Mauro Arramparri, who had the best chance of the game. His header from a corner on target and helped onto the crossbar and out by a brilliant save from Joan Garcia, who would inevitably go on to be named MVP of the match at the RCD Stadium. A brilliant save from the young Spanish goalkeeper. One of, if not the, player of the season at Espanyol. Javi Puado, close contender on 10 goals and available for this one, as we said. He was called into action here again to deny Ramon Terrats. However, the Villarreal loanee was in an offside position. Regardless, though, Joan Garcia able to keep it out. It was offside because Domingos Duarte just helped it on here for the young Catalan midfielder. The big turning point in the game, though, was here as Cristantus Uche committed a challenge on Jofre Carreras. Initially, it was given as a yellow card, but after looking at the replay and looking at the VAR screen not for too long, the referee, de Burgos Bengoechea, didn't really hesitate. The yellow card was rescinded and it was turned into a red. This was with half an hour still to play. Getafe being left down to 10 men. Uche with his studs up there, catching Jofre right on his thigh. Minutes later, from a free kick, Edu Exposito came inches away from making it 2-0 for the home side. His free kick took a deflection off the wall, and David Soria was there on his toes to parry it away out for a corner kick. From that corner kick, it was put on target by former Getafe man Leandro Cabrera, but straight at David Soria. Espanyol kept on pushing, looking for a second goal to put the game to bed, and it was their goal scorer in the first half, Marash Kumbula, who was very close to getting on the end of this set piece here. But Dakonam Djene just got the end of his boot on it to send it out for another corner. Getafe may have the best away record in 2025 in La Liga, but they were looking to bounce back from a defeat last time out at home against Las Palmas, and it really was an uphill battle with 10 men against Espanyol, especially because the home side kept on pushing to get a second. Eventually, though, Getafe would start making some more attacking changes, trying to get back in the game. Juanmi was brought on for Coba da Costa, and then the Espanyol goalkeeper, or goal scorer I should say, Marash Kumbula, came off of Fernando Calero. He had his thigh wrapped in ice minutes later, so clearly a precaution to replace him by Manolo Gonzalez. Roberto Fernandez was then in on goal, looking for a fourth goal in 3 games, having scored 3 in his last 2. He put the shot over the crossbar, but regardless, he was just in an offside position here. Scored both goals for Espanyol in their last game, a 2-0 win away at the Abanca Balaidos against Celta. After Espanyol beat Rayo Vallecano away 4-0 in the game before, Espanyol were also looking to hold on to a 3rd consecutive clean sheet. Joan Garcia here doing well to keep out the header from Alvaro Rodriguez. Urco Gonzalez would then pick out Jofre Carreras down the right-hand side, who took a bit too long to release the ball, release the cross to Roberto Fernandez. It was then a brilliant sliding tackle from Juan Iglesias, who would clear the ball away from a corner. Iglesias was playing left-back on the day with Dakonam Djene at right-back due to the suspension of Diego Rico, who was unavailable for this game. Beramilla and Alex Kral were the 2 next players brought on by the home side. Antonio Roca and Paul Lozano were the 2 men replaced. Paul Lozano also seen on the bench minutes later with ice on his thigh. Bit of a talking point as well for Getafe minutes later, as Bordalas made a triple change, including bringing on Borja Mayoral for Alvaro Rodriguez, who he'd brought on at half-time. This was with 10 minutes left to play. Carlas Perez was also brought on along with Joan Bernat. Terrats and Iglesias were the other 2 to give way, but Alvaro Rodriguez especially was almost inconsolable on the bench when he was replaced, having been brought on, as we say, at half-time. Getafe really did push hard in the final minutes to try and get something out of the game here. Omar Alderete heading wide of the goal, but he was just offside. The visitors really looking to just play balls into the box and see if one would drop kindly enough to score the goal. But here, for example, Luis Milla would send this one straight at Joan Garcia. Here, minutes away from closing in on a third consecutive win and third consecutive clean sheet for Espanyol. Just before the final whistle, though, Roberto Fernandez was given a standing ovation as he was replaced by Walid Chedira. Alvaro Tejero would also come on for Jofre Carreras. Final two changes made by the home side. Tejero, with his first couple of touches of the game, tried to get round David Soria, managed to do so, in fact, as he was played in behind, but his attempted cross would only hit the side netting. In stoppage time, Walid Chedira actually put the ball into the back of the net, having been played into space, but the offside flag was instantly raised for offside, and it turned out, after a review, to be just the right call. It would not go to 2-0. It would in fact stay at 1-0, as Espanyol would clinch all 3 points and hold on to the clean sheet. Kumbula's goal in the first half saw it end Espanyol 1, Getafe 0.